Sire. Your orders. We surrender.
In the Northern Realms, the Pontar Valley is a region of great political significance. It is here that the borders of Temeria, Redania, Kaedwen and Aedirn meet. They say that he who controls the Pontar Valley controls the north, so it is no wonder that the cited realms have clashed here more than once. Indeed, those realms would continue to clash there. In the year 1269, Kaedwen and Aedirn went to war over Lormark, a long disputed region to the east of the valley. Commanding the invading Kaedweni army was the notorious General Vandergrift, also known as the Visitor. With him was the Dunbanner, a light cavalry regiment that made its name in the Second War with Nilfgaard, and the king's less than trusted advisor, Sorceress Sabrina Glevissig. Together they were a force to be reckoned with, one sure to deliver a swift and decisive victory for the King of Kaedwen, King Henselt.
I am Henselt of Ardcarreg, the last of the unicorns.
We were ambushed. We can't hold.
But Aedirn had its eye on the area and dug ditches on the battlefield that Glevissig's magic ostensibly failed to detect.
They must have dug those ditches in the night. The field was cleared by day.
Under the leadership of the valiant Seltkirk, the Kaedwenis were ambushed and the Dunbanner all but destroyed. It wasn't long after that the two generals, Vandergrift and Seltkirk, met in the melee.
I'll not give up an opportunity to duel Vandergrift.
And not for the first time either. At some time before the war, a tournament in Kaedwen saw their rivalry sparked. Seltkirk shattered Vandergrift's sword during a knight's tourney in Ardcarreg. Afterwards, Vandergrift, enraged at his weapon's failure, ordered a new one forged, this time with powerful runestones enchanted into it. He named the sword Loafin, or Hatred, and with it he slew Seltkirk, splitting his rival from head to groin.
Seltkirk does not fear death.
The Aedirnian forces fell into disarray, and as the battle raged into the evening, it seemed Vandergrift's victory was at hand. Perched on a hill flanking the battlefield, Sabrina Glevissig watched the battle unfold and worried over its outcome. While helping secure a Kaedweni victory was in her best interest as advisor to the king, it was not in her interest as a member of the sisterhood, the Lodge of Sorceresses. They, it is known, are schemers and plotters, and sure enough had their own designs for Lormark, to dissolve it into an independent state that they would one day rule. So it was that Glevissig betrayed her king and brought down a torrent of fire on Kaedweni and Aedirnian men alike.
First native! Die after such a victory! Gods, we can't fight such sorcery!
3,000 were killed, including Vandergrift and the last of the Dunbanner, their armour turning to kettles and their skin to bubbling goo. The spell brought shame to Henselt and an indecisive end to the fighting. Lormark was left to the Aedirnians, and as punishment, Henselt had his ex-advisor nailed to a wagon wheel and burned on a stake.
Sabrina Glevissig, I sentence you to death. You shall burn at the stake.
With her last breaths, Glevissig cursed the king with blood magic.
Let a shooting star split the heavens and mark its mortal journey with a trail of blood. Let fools be duped by the sight of fish scales turned by magic into square pieces of gold. Let the unicorn violate 1,000-year-old rules. Green and power of fire devouring air by the charred bones of the innocent. Let the prophecy be fulfilled.
According to the sorcerer Dethmold, Sabrina's successor, this kind of spell is incredibly rare. There have been just 6 confirmed cases of it being cast, and only 1 of it being lifted. The latter was done by a team that included, among other notable mages, Glevissig. Regardless, nothing immediate seemed to come of Glevissig's curse on Henselt. 3 years later, King Demivand of Aedirn's end was met at the hands of an assassin. His cat-like eyes and silver medallion identified him as a viper witcher named Letho of Gulet, and his actions sowed the seeds of the third and final war with Nilfgaard. But we'll look at that perhaps in a future episode. With Demivand dead, Aedirn fell into anarchy. Henselt marched on Lormark for the second time, while Prince Stennis, the rightful heir, went unloved and uncrowned by his people. So it fell to Saskia, the so-called Virgin of Aedirn, and the people of Vergen to block Henselt's path.
Now, to arms and to the walls! Let's show Henselt real war!
For a brief moment, it seemed that the matter might be resolved peacefully, the two parties meeting under white banners to discuss an amicable transaction of the land.
Sire, the Dragon Slayer approaches, white flag in hand.
Excellent. Let her pass.
But peace was not to be. Blood was spilled and Sabrina's curse, having lain dormant since her death, was activated. A grave mist descended on the valley, the sun was eclipsed, and the dead took up their rusty swords. Naturally, being an expert in the field, it fell to Geralt to enter among the race and lift Glevissig's curse. Wraiths are beings trapped in an illusory reality, forever damned to repeat the events from the past. Defeating them is only possible through entering that reality, the only true reality for them. So it was that Geralt joined in the fighting between the Cursed Knights of Aedirn and the Kaedweni Revenants, intervening where he could as to disrupt the flow of battle. Not all the spirits were manifested whole, however. Some had been corrupted by Glevissig's curse and transformed into Draugr, demons of war sustained by pieces of armour that arise only on the bloodiest of battlefields. None were affected more than Vandergrift, who had become something known as a Draug.
They are hatred and bloodlust in condensed form.
The Draug is a commander, and his race soldiers are called Draugrs. The Draug's will calls them into existence on battlefields or in cemeteries. Like the Draug, they are born of damned souls and trapped in shells created from the remnants of arms and armour, machines and corpses torn apart by scavengers.
Who are you?
Your nightmare!
It's also worth pointing out that a Draugr can be born from a particularly sudden or brutal death, and that the bloody Flail, a weapon banned in the Northern Realms for its propensity to maim, spawns such a Specter. Also fighting among the dead were the Tormented Mages and damned Sorceresses. Though their spells were no doubt pivotal to the battle's outcome, none were quite so devastating as Melgar's Fire, which Sabrina would later summon to rain fireballs from the sky.
I shall summon Melgar's Fire to the battlefield. It will kill Vandergrift and weaken both sides.
Geralt knew that cutting down such races as these would do little to turn the battle in Aedirn's favour, however, and that the duel between Seltkirk and Vandergrift was a key event that, once resolved, would allow the ghost to return to the spectral plane.
When you die, your soldiers will die every day afterwards. Forever.
And so, equipped with Seltkirk's armour, Geralt took the fallen knight's place and slew the Draug. With Vandergrift defeated and Seltkirk victorious, the Aedirnian forces were not routed as history ordained.
Should have stayed at home, Vandergrift.
The battle scenario was interrupted, bringing some kind of peace to the combatants. But all the same, it was Sabrina's Specter that put an end to the fighting, sealing her fate and closing the loop on the eternal battle. With the fog lifted and Sabrina's ghost put to rest, Henselt once again renewed his effort to seize Lormark. Whether he was successful or not is dependent on the player's choices. Either his forces are repelled by Saskia and her militia, Lormark becoming a free state known as Upper Aedirn.
I, King Henselt, Lord of Kaedwen, swear before witnesses that I will relinquish Aedirnian borders.
Or the king gets what he wants, as is so often the case.
I'm the King of Kaedwen and soon of Lormark. The North won't survive without me. I've won.
Regardless of what the future held for Lormark, it would not be peace. Certainly, under the looming shadow of Nilfgaard, it's hard not to look at the wars fought between the Northern Realms and liken them to petty squabbles. For in the south, the Black Ones look up, and in their gaze, the North shudders. The Rayuga had been forded before, and it would be again. Thanks for watching. This was the first in what will hopefully be a long-running series which we explore the Witcher lore surrounding Gwent. That sounds like something you don't want to miss. Make sure to subscribe, and if you have any suggestions on how we can improve going forward, drop us a note in the comments section below. See you next time.